One of the most dangerous skills a person can develop is the ability to lie without looking nervous. Because the truth is, most lies are not obvious. Real deception is subtle. It hides behind fake confidence, carefully controlled words, forced emotions, and psychological manipulation designed to make you doubt your own instincts. And that is why so many people get betrayed. Not because they are weak, but because they ignore the signals right in front of them. Today, you'll learn 4 psychological signs that someone is lying straight to your face. These are not movie clichés. They are real behavioral patterns that appear when people attempt to hide truth while maintaining emotional control. And once you notice these patterns, you will never observe conversations the same way again. The hidden reality of deception: most people believe lying is only about words. It isn't. Deception is psychological pressure. When someone lies, their brain must do multiple things simultaneously. They must hide the truth, maintain consistency, control emotional reactions, manage body language, and monitor your response at the same time. That creates cognitive tension. And eventually, small cracks begin appearing in their behavior. Psychologically observant people learn to notice these cracks, not by becoming paranoid, but by learning to observe human behavior beneath surface-level communication. Because the body often reveals what the mouth tries to hide. The first signal: forced over-explanation. Liars often provide too much information. This surprises many people, because most assume liars avoid talking. But skilled manipulators usually do the opposite. They over-explain. Why? Because excessive detail creates the illusion of honesty. They begin adding unnecessary explanations, extra context, irrelevant details, and emotional performances designed to sound convincing. But psychologically, this behavior often reveals anxiety. Truthful people usually answer naturally. Liars often sound rehearsed, almost as if they are building a protective wall made of words. And if you pay attention carefully, their explanations often feel strangely unnatural. Too polished, too defensive, too carefully constructed. This is especially common when someone immediately becomes defensive before you even accuse them of anything. That reaction often reveals internal fear. Because innocent people usually seek understanding, manipulative liars often seek control of the narrative. And those are 2 completely different psychological behaviors. The second signal: inconsistent emotions. One of the hardest things for liars to control is emotional timing. Because genuine emotions happen naturally, fake emotions often arrive late, too intensely, or at the wrong moment entirely. For example, someone may fake concern, but their facial expression appears emotionally disconnected. Or they may force laughter that feels slightly unnatural. Or they suddenly become emotionally dramatic in situations that do not match the emotional intensity. This happens because the brain struggles to synchronize fabricated emotion with fabricated stories. And emotionally intelligent people often sense this subconsciously. Something feels off, not because they can prove the lie immediately, but because the emotional energy feels misaligned. Psychologically manipulative people understand words can deceive, but emotions are harder to fake consistently. That is why emotionally observant individuals pay attention not only to what people say, but when and how emotional reactions appear. The third signal: they avoid direct answers. Liars often fear simple questions, because simple questions create pressure. Notice how deceptive people frequently change topics, redirect conversations, answer questions vaguely, or respond with another question entirely. This is psychological avoidance. And it happens because direct answers create risk. The more specific the answer, the easier it becomes to expose inconsistency later. So manipulative people intentionally keep conversations emotionally foggy. Sometimes they even attempt reversing the pressure onto you. They become offended, defensive, aggressive. Not because they are innocent, but because emotional chaos distracts from logical observation. This is why calm observation becomes extremely powerful. Psychologically intelligent people do not get emotionally pulled into confusion tactics. They stay patient. Because eventually, consistent pressure exposes contradictions naturally. The fourth signal, their body language changes under pressure. The body often reacts before the mind regains control. And under psychological pressure, small behavioral changes begin appearing. This does not mean every nervous person is lying. That is important. Anxiety alone proves nothing. But sudden behavioral shifts during specific questions can reveal psychological discomfort. For example, avoiding eye contact suddenly, touching the face repeatedly, tightening lips, crossing arms defensively, or changing vocal tone unexpectedly. These are stress reactions. And when they appear immediately after certain topics arise, they can reveal emotional pressure connected to hidden truth. Again, body language alone is never perfect proof. But clusters of behavioral changes often reveal far more than words themselves. Because lying creates internal tension. And tension eventually leaks through the body. The moment everything changes, the most psychologically dangerous liars are not always emotional. Some are calm, charming, confident, socially intelligent. That is why blindly trusting confidence is dangerous. True observation requires emotional neutrality. Not paranoia. Not obsession. Awareness. Psychologically strong individuals learn to trust patterns more than performances. Because words can be controlled. But long-term behavioral consistency is much harder to fake. And once you stop judging people only by what they say, you begin seeing human behavior much more clearly. Final reflection: lies survive through emotional blindness. Most people only listen to words. Few people observe behavior. But the moment you begin noticing forced explanations, inconsistent emotions, avoidance tactics, and behavioral tension, you start understanding people on a much deeper psychological level. Because deception always leaves traces. You simply need the awareness to notice them. If this video sharpened your perspective, subscribe to the Mental Forge for more videos on human behavior, dark psychology, emotional mastery, stoic resilience, and the hidden laws of social intelligence. Observe carefully. Because not every smile is honest.